Good fucking morning, boys. Happy fucking Thursday. Welcome back to another trade recap. Today was a beautiful fucking day. We've only taken 2 trades this week so far. Monday was alright. Tuesday was decent. We actually took 1 trade on an eval account for a top step account that we had, 50K. And I was able to pass that one on Tuesday, which now leaves me with 2 top step accounts to trade with, which I was able to make about 678 on both of those today. So roughly 1,300 and some change, So what I'm going to do differently today that I haven't been doing from the past recap videos, I'm actually just going to go through in replay mode to explain exactly what I was thinking going through every single candle, right? I don't want to make it super complicated. I want to try to simplify this as much as I can so you guys can understand what I'm thinking and, how I'm going about thinking about where the market's going to go, what the draw is, a whole bunch of different stuff. So to get things started, we're going to just look basically at the 9:30 open. So before all this stuff happened, really, if we look at around London session, right, we could even turn on this right here. This is the whole entire London session, right? It's pretty much chopping. We didn't really do much. It was accumulating, right? And if you look here, this is our new day opening gap from from Wednesday, right? So we have our new day opening gap here, right? Notice how London trades into it multiple times. It's kind of just doing what it wants, right? And as we start to come into the AM session, we generate all this low resistance liquidity, right? I wasn't awake at this time, right? This is literally 3 a.m. for me, so I'm not really trading this. I'm asleep. But we generated all this low resistance liquidity and ended up running it all the way to the London highs, right? Usually I look to target London highs for New York, but today was just a different scenario. We already took the London highs and we already took this high here. So what I was looking at coming into the open, right? And notice all this is just bullish price action, right? We create a mitigation here, we trade back into the mitigation, trade up, trade down, back to the breaker, right? Fair value gap here, trade back lower. Just very bullish order flow, right? And now once the 9:30 candle opens, boom, right there. That's the 9:30. Notice that, okay, we displaced above the high, right? 9:30 is also a new 5-minute gap, a new 5-minute open as well. As soon as that happened, right? 9:30 opens, now this is a new 5-minute candle. So what I'm looking at here, I'm trying to see, okay, since ES is pretty much where NQ is, right? It's not lagging behind. They're both pretty much at the same level, right? So as soon as I notice that, right, we trade above this high and we inverse this gap here too. I want to see how we can respect this level here, see if we can trade into this gap potentially to get a trade off of it or just anything along those lines, right? I'm watching price. I'm not predicting anything. I'm reacting, and I'm reacting off certain confluences and waiting for certain things to happen. And once those things happen, that's when I enter. So basically we come down and tap that opening price, right? So I'm sure some people went long off that, but that's just not necessarily how I trade. We did get a nice SMT here in the open, and obviously that means that this low is protected with a clear draw higher. Keep in mind this line here is actually the 4-hour fair value gap high right over here. If I can get it, boom, right there. So I wanted to see us close through that potentially, but obviously the 4-hour candle would have closed right at 9:59 around 10. So I didn't, want to wait that long, especially if there was a setup towards a drawn liquidity that I thought would be hit before the 10 a.m. opened. So we come down, tap that fair value gap, the inversion, right? And now I'm looking to see, okay, this is obviously a drawn liquidity, and then I was looking to see the daily opening price as a drawn liquidity as well right here. See this opening price from July 11th. So from a long time ago, but it was still a clear draw to me. So we get that inversion, we tap it. Now I'm watching price, see exactly what we're doing. Okay, nothing yet. We retest this 2-minute gap here, I believe. Yeah, so we had a 2-minute gap that we tested there and immediately rejected back off of. So now what I'm looking at is, boom, this level up here. I want longs up to this level. Now I'm just waiting for an entry, right? So I'm waiting. Really not doing much yet, right? Notice how we have a mitigation here, right? So we have this low here, high, higher, low, and then we trade higher, right? Noticing that we also leave behind this 1-minute gap here. So play price out a little more, right? We inverse that gap. I'm not trying to short anything because I want longs, right? Now I see that we create this SMT, right? We reject off this, right? We get a nice closure above. If we go to the 5-minute time frame, you'll notice that we create a 5-minute. We trade into the 5-minute, and notice even though it's not 10 a.m. yet, see how this line here, this 4-hour gap high, we actually retest it, So we retest it, and then what I'm looking at this point, since we have this 5-minute fair value gap that got that got tapped into. ES actually came down and created an SMT with that 5 minute as well. So if you look in the 1 minute here, try to make this as clean and as easy for you guys to see as possible. So you see this low at 936, that low was taken by the 945 low. So we have an SMT there. And then if you look here as well, the 947 low was taken by the 950 low on NQ, but not on ES. So we have multiple SMTs reacting off a mitigation, reacting off this 4-hour inversion tap, and basically just reacting off all types of bullish order flow. So everything's telling me that we want to go to these highs, right? So on the 2 minute now, I'm looking to see, okay, do we have any gaps or anything? And yes, we do have a 2 minute gap here. We do have a 1 minute as well, but I want to wait for the highest time frame gap possible to take that trade off of. So once we do get that 2 minute closure, which is right there, so I don't set a limit, I actually buy at 21,082.50. So my fill was right there. Wait. My fill was right 82.50. Good Lord, come on. My fill was right there. I put my stop just a little bit below the inversion in case we wanted to make a little dip down into it, and then I targeted the opening price of the daily candle. It was around almost a 1 to 3. Pretty solid trade. So I basically entered off that, and then notice how we come down, sweep the equal lows back inside the gap, reacting off this mitigation here, right, to the tick. And then I actually got filled. My order got filled right there. So I put it a little bit below 125 just so I could, in case it decides to edge me. But yeah, it tapped me out right about there. I was out of the trade at that point. Then of course, go back down to the 1 minute. We trade back into this mitigation, back into this gap down here. And then from there, boom, we hit that level. There was one more setup that I'm going to go through right now that was also really good. So what I was looking at this point was maybe to see if this 5 minute gap wanted to get tapped into. So I was looking to see, okay, ES actually did take this low with this candle here at the 10:05 5 minute candle. So we did technically have an SMT here, but I just wanted, more structure to play out. At this point, I'm not taking any more trades. I'm done. I'm just doing this strictly for you guys. So you can understand, what happened today. So we end up trading lower, right? We actually, no SMTs. We just took out the buy stops here and then traded lower. Now at this point, I was waiting to see what we would do. Now at this point, this candle at 10:17 came down, took this low as well, or took this low here at 10:08, and then this low at 10:03 was taken on ES but not on NQ. So I wanted to see if this was actually going to be a valid SMT or if we wanted to come down and sweep it one more time into this gap to then look for longs. So at this point I was waiting, see we're respecting this 1 minute gap here, and then we trade lower, just waiting for more price. It's kind of chopping, not really doing too much. Put in equal highs, and then boom, right? We come down and then we sweep this 5 minute gap that I was talking about, right? So it's an unfilled gap. Price more than likely is going to want to come down and fill that. So let me remove this for now. So now what I was looking at, so we tap this 5 minute, and then we come up, we sweep the equal highs, right? Why don't I want to take this inversion here? Why don't I want to take this inversion? And we could even look on the 2 minute to see if there even is an inversion there. So there is a 2 minute gap here. Now, why wouldn't I take this? Well, if you look here at the 1 minute time frame, we'll keep it on the 2 minute actually. So if you look on the 2 minute time frame, we inverse it at 10:36, right? But if you notice, ES already came up and swept this high here, right? And also we have a bearish SMT here. So even though the draw I still believe is higher, this bearish SMT is most likely gonna, run stops one more time before making the real move, right? So like I said, the reason I didn't want to take this is because ES already took out a high and we had a bearish SMT. It didn't make sense to me realistically. And because also NQ swept this high, right? Why would you want to enter after we swept the high, right? And then immediately right after that, we open and then sell back off. Now, if we go back down to the 1 minute, we take the equal highs, right? We get this gap. You don't want to look for shorts because the bias is long. We want to look for longs, right? We tap the 5 minute. Pretty sure we had another SMT. Yeah. So we had another SMT here with the 10:17 low, SMT there. Now, at this point, like I said, I didn't trade anymore, but I saw, okay, we have a gap here. Let's look on the 2 minute. Do we have a gap on the 2 minute? No. So there's only a 1 minute gap, right? So now I'm looking to see, okay, we still have this. Technically, this is an order block. So mean threshold, however fucking ICT terms you want to use, okay? So we end up inversing this. We create equal lows one more time. Now, okay, here is something that would kind of throw off a lot of people. Notice these equal lows here, right? On MNQ as well, I don't want to switch to MNQ because it's going to fuck up the replay. MNQ had equal lows as well. Most of the time, if NQ creates equal lows and MNQ does not create equal lows, like let's say MNQ swept this low right here, most of the time, those equal lows are going to get left, right? So in this case, if you look at 1041 right here on ES, we actually swept that low with the 1043 candle. So 1041, and 1043. So technically we had some sort of small time frame SMT there. Usually ES is the one that creates the equal lows and NQ is the one that doesn't create the equal lows. But in this case, that's what happened, right? We had this 1 minute gap here that we were respecting. So at this point, I just kind of had the idea that, okay, these equal lows are probably going to get left until the high time frame draw is hit, right? So let's say you long this, right? You have the SMT, you have the 5 minute gap, you had some nice displacement, you have an inversion. This is your confirmation to go long, right? So let's say you long here, and then you put your stop roughly like a little bit below the inversion right there. And then just target the CE of the wick up there, right? So now what we do, we wait, right? And then, of course, it hits the TP. So those were really the only 2 good trades that I saw today. Obviously, you could have got a way better risk to reward on this trade, but, you know, obviously I'm not going to not take this trade. You know, I still caught 40-ish points. This one was a little bit more, it's 51. But the same concept applies. You guys get it. 2 great setups. If you're patient and you wait, I mean, you're just going to win. This is how it is. If you follow your rules and you don't fucking deviate from them, you're going to win. It's as simple as that. You guys need to realize that this is a game of probabilities. And when you go into a trade, you can't be thinking, oh, I'm risking this much. I can't be scared to lose. Like, you guys need to just enter and just forget. Set and forget. I can understand if you need to manage your position. All right, if you're trading Apex, you know, trailing stop and all that. But just set and forget. You know what you're looking for. You know what model you have. You know what the fuck you need to do. So just follow it. It's as simple as that. You see me do it every single day. So why can't you do it? I'm a normal ass guy. There's nothing special about me. I'm just another 22-year-old kid that just watches candles for a living. All right? Take it seriously, man. And I promise you, it's gonna work eventually. But I'll start doing these videos a bit more. I'm actually going to start posting a lot of educational videos as well, you know, or some sort of like free mentorship on YouTube or something. But yeah, I don't need money from you guys. I want to help people succeed. I remember when I was in that position where I just would always doubt myself, and you know, I'd be like, oh, when is this gonna work? Is this even for me? You know, and I just kind of eliminated those fears and those doubts in my mind and just realized that if I follow what I'm supposed to follow, the money will come. Simple as that. So yeah, that's all I really got for you guys today. If you enjoyed the video, please go ahead and leave a like, share my content, share my YouTube channel with anybody who, you know, may need help with trading. You know, there's tons of people out there that you can learn from, tons of great traders. But I'm trying to grow my community as well, trying to help traders that are struggling, and that's pretty much it, guys. Leave a comment or any suggestions that you might have below for videos, or, you know, just feedback on basically what I'm teaching you guys and what I'm recapping. So I'll leave you guys with that. Hopefully you guys had a great week. I'm most likely done for the week. Tomorrow probably won't be the best action, but yeah, I'll leave you boys with that, and I'll most likely catch you guys next week. Peace.